Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com, and I hope it finds you well. The sun is out. The weather is starting to warm back up here in the Valley of the Sun. I hope it is doing well wherever you may be. The big snowstorm, Colorado, Wyoming, starting to dig out. I got a few updates. The beef event that was scheduled to be in Wellington this weekend has been delayed because all the snow there, as it's starting to melt, the field is probably going to be a big sloppy mess. So that event has been rescheduled. We'll be having the event on April the 10th. April the 10th now in Wellington. Check our website for details. We'll get it up there for you. But I wanted to let you guys know that event this weekend has been postponed due to weather. And the effects of the weather anyway, and rescheduled for the 10th. Tomorrow, we have our event at the radio station. Dominic's Pizza is going to be doing the catering. Make sure, listen, support these guys. And I got to tell you, it's worked better than we had hoped. Cathay Athens in Loveland, the Subway in Johnstown, now Dominic's Pizza in Johnstown. All of them are telling us you guys are supporting them and doing business with them, and make sure you let them know 1360 sent you there. We got. I know it's going to be another movie night. Jason's got all kinds of plans there for you. Of course, we've got CBD products available in our office in Colorado, our office here in Phoenix, obviously online. And I'm going to tell you, I've been taking the CBD now for several months now. God, boy, it's been like three months now. What a difference for me and everyone. It's kind of funny because it's almost like the CBD knows why you're taking it. You know, some people, they take it at night, and I tell you, I get the emails. My sleep is so much better. I can tell you, for me, that not that I don't really have a problem sleeping. But I have switched. I used to take it in the morning. I now take it at night. But I take it mostly for discomfort. Right? I was a pill popper, and I'm not talking prescription drugs. Advil, Aleve, anything. If I did anything, played around the golf, pickleball. Whatever it may be. I was sucking down Advils or Aleves before the event, during the event, after the event. I don't do that anymore. And it's truly just very, very effective. I'm shocked. I'm shocked about it. And other people are like, well, you know what? It helps with how I'm feeling, my mood. Cancer. I'm telling you, if you guys are going through cancer, you got to get CBD. And you need the best stuff, and that's what we have. And I've said it a million times. I've told you about it. Everything is independently lab certified. Everything in Colorado. It's all made here. All the jobs are here. Everything's done here. It's not from the seed, it's from the flower, which means it's better. The purity is in the high 90s. As far as purity goes, there's no chemicals. They don't do anything. They get the extraction process through alcohol. You can use harsh chemicals. It's a lot cheaper, and that's what a lot of these other places do. They don't do that. My Kind CBD, these guys are major award winners, major supporters of the radio station. It's the best of the best. They're saying, like, I'm doing the 3,000 milligram tincture, but I'm a big guy. And I got a lot of wounds, a lot of war wounds, athletic wounds and things of that nature. But we have the 1,000 milligram tincture, which I started with that one. I've upgraded to the 3000, and I just take, it's a dropper. And I just do one dropper, it doesn't I don't fill the whole thing, but about halfway and boom, and I'm done with it. It's so easy. The salves, the lotions. I love the lotion because the lotion's easy. The salve, which I have as well, the salve's more like a beeswax. So it really, really good. But the lotion's just easier, so I like to use the lotion now because, you don't have to rub it in as long as you do with the salves. But we got all of these great products. I told you, we're working on getting the CBD guys in. Paul Mist, Terry V are going to interview them. And when they do, I'll let you all know because I think it'd be great for all of you to hear it from them. And they can tell you all about it. And I know they're talking about people with diabetes. Apparently it's good for that. I don't know how it knows, but it just knows. Like I said, it just knows. Try them out. And again, here's the best part. The prices is for what you're getting. Because CBD, you see prices of all kinds. Really cheap, really expensive. And it really has to do with how is it handled? Is there a lot of chemicals in it? Where's it made? Is it synthetic? Is it real? Is it this? Is it that? We got the best of the best, and our price is the best for the quality that you're getting. Go out to 1360 KHNC, hit that shop button. Like I said, we got them in both offices. But we got a show today. Listen, you're not going to want to miss it. I've been wondering about Social Security. Something happened that we may have the answer. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Man, we have so much stuff to talk about. Yesterday, Jay Powell, the Federal Reserve meeting, interest rates. Let's just say this. Despite what all of these so-called super smart guys, the idiots, the morons on the TV, the stock cheerleaders, right? All the people that think we could just spend money without repercussions forever. Who cares? It's fine. Well, guess what? It's not fine. Jay Powell yesterday, by the way, here comes gold. What a day already. The 10-year note hitting a new 52-week high, 177 and rising. I told you, all right, listen, it's going to 2. I just don't know if it's going to stop at 2. I don't think so. But now gold is starting to be like, wait a minute. We're starting to figure this out. 10-year notes going up. The dollar's not rallying. Maybe we all need to be in gold. And Jay Powell, whether he knew it or not, that's what he said yesterday. No rate hikes coming this year, next year, the year after, right? None of those things announced. No type of concern whatsoever. There will be absolutely zero nada tightening from the central bank. Duh. Matter of fact, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, not only are they not going to tighten, okay, pull your head out of your backside and get a clue for just a second. They're not tightening. They're going to go looser. Yeah. There's no talk about lowering the amount of bonds they're going to buy, but they got to buy more. They did reference, I told you March 31st, the banks have been allowed to break all these rules that they put in place to protect us. But that's okay, because forget about the guy out on the street. He doesn't need to be protected. He doesn't even need to know. It's not about us. It's about protecting them and their precious little system. Saying they're going to announce next week about this March 31st deadline, which would essentially put it this way, if the Fed doesn't extend this arbitrary deadline that they gave, this will force the banks to have to sell a bunch of treasuries. And by a bunch, I mean somewhere north of $100 billion worth. So that's a lot. Which, of course, would do what? Increase the supply, right? Try to drive the yields even higher. but we'll see. We'll see what they didn't. They didn't announce it at this meeting because I don't think they were worried that would cause even greater problems. Listen, it's so these guys are clueless. They've admitted now inflation is going to be 2.1% by the end of the year, which will really mean by the end of the year, inflation will be running somewhere close to 3% the way they calculate. Listen, look how much inflation there is now, and they're still only saying 1.7, right? Get ready. I'm telling you, it's coming, and it's coming like a freight train. Jobless claims today, not great. Matter of fact, I'm shocked. I don't know I don't know what to say. They jumped way up, 770,000. Last week it was down to 725. I actually thought we were maybe going to get a number below the previous all-time record high back in the 80s. It jumped up, so I don't know why, but 775,000 jobs. People filed for unemployment for the very first time this weekend. And I thought places were opening up. And the only thing I can think of is the places that were opening back up, the business wasn't as good as they thought, and they laid these people back off. I mean, I don't know, but a really, really big number. The people that are on all the benefits. Remember last week, that one spiked back to 20-plus million. It dropped back down to 18-plus million, which is where it's been really for most of the last 4 or 5 months. So the 18 million people continually getting checks from the government all the way through August now with the new 1.9 trillion. And I start to think about, you gotta understand what that means. That means 18 million people that were paying into Social Security stopped paying. And the problem is they haven't been paying for over a year now. And I keep wondering, nobody wants to say anything about it. Right? What's going to happen with Social Security? Because you got to remember, here's what's going to run out first. Medicare and Medicaid. See, in Social Security, you've got disability, Social Security disability. If you're like widowed or things, something like that, and you're collecting, you've got the Medicare, Medicaid is in that Social Security, that payroll tax, and then Social Security itself. And what the government's been doing is they've been telling you, well, Social Security won't run out, and I think the latest number, now again, this number's old. Okay, it's an old number. This is a pre-coronavirus, when everyone lost their job number, was 2031. Now, I don't want to say that isn't true. Technically, yes, that would have been right. However, all the other programs that I just told you about all run out of money in the next 5 years. Now, and again, remember, before Corona, okay, so before Corona, COVID, Corona, Chinese, Hong Kong flu, whatever you want to call it. That was before. So take disability. Remember during the housing and financial crisis? I don't think you probably do. Most of you don't know. Remember, and everybody went on disability. That was the thing. All of a sudden, disability insurance, right? Because people were so depressed because they lost their jobs. Yeah. That ran out. It didn't have enough money in it anymore. So what they did is they just shaved a little bit off of the Social Security because it still had a surplus. And so when they were saying 2031, that was not really accurate because they already knew, hey, all three of these other programs, we're going to have to shave money off of Social Security to fund these ones. And so really, Social Security was probably going to run out anyway in like 2028. But now you've got, let's call it 18 to 20 million people that they were paying 6.2%. Or 12.4% if they were independent, right? If they were an independent contractor. Or if they were paying 6.2, the company was paying 6.2. Either way, 12.4% of 20 million people's wages are not being collected and haven't been collected for a year now. And I'm like, man, what is the effects of that going to be? And I mean, that's a big piece of the workforce. If the total workforce was, say, 150 million, right? And I don't know that it was that high, but let's just say it was. And now 20 million of them don't pay. You're like, wait, man, that's what, 13, 14%, something like that? That's a big haircut. And nobody's saying anything, which just tells you all you need to know. Right? And remember, I run the commercial about Social Security. The Supreme Court ruled in the 60s, and it actually had to do, believe it or not, it had to do with McCarthyism. You're a communist, and there was a Russian who got labeled a communist, and they deported him. But he had, for 20-plus years, I think it was 20 years, it was either 19 or 20 years, he had paid into Social Security. So when he got deported, they stopped giving him his Social Security check. So he sued, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the case got tried. It was the early 60s. I want to say 1961, but don't quote me on that. But it was early 60s. And the Supreme Court ruled, you're not entitled to anything. Matter of fact, nobody is entitled to anything. Social Security, in the eyes of the law, is a tax. It's not a property right. So in other words, that 6.2 or that 12.4% you're paying, that's not yours. The government has no legal obligation to pay us anything. And the government knows it. Right now, they're just making, it's all fantasy. Right? They spent all the surplus. There's no surplus. There's no lockbox. Right? But yet think about the lengths they go to keep up the charade. Right? They send you these statements as you get older. And it has your Social Security information. And it shows what you paid every year you paid in and blah, 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 and how much you can expect to receive. It's got your name on it and everything. Doesn't mean anything. It's a worthless piece of paper. But then I read this yesterday. Auto enrollment may be just what Americans need to save more for retirement, but only if the government makes it a requirement. Only half of Americans participate in a workforce retirement plan. That's because the other half is small business owners. It's not practical. A staggering statistic, they say, considering how much of the responsibility for funding an adequate retirement now falls on individuals. Listen, don't kid yourself. This is what they've done. Our dollar's worth nothing. It really is. I had a customer. She was picking up. She had bought the $10 Liberty special that we had ran earlier in the week. And she was picking them up, and she's been buying from us for years. And she said to me, Joe, the first time I bought from you, I was buying $20 gold pieces for $1,000. Like I said, she's been a customer almost 10 years. She goes, now I'm getting $10 gold pieces for $1,000. And she goes, and the way, she's talking about how the Biden administration, all the money they're spending, all this nonsense. You know what's going to happen? You're going to be spending $1,000 for a $5 piece. That's just what's going to happen. And now they're talking about, we're not saving for retirement. And they said the problem. Here's the problem. I want to read to you what these geniuses say the problem is. I can't wait. The problem's not the central bank. The problem's not them devaluing our money. The problem's not inflation. Oh, no. The problem is we just don't have enough government. Man, by God. We were talking before the break. What's going to happen? Jay Powell coming out and let's just call it what it is. Just an absolute, just lied to everybody. Well, he didn't lie. Hey, we're not going to do anything. We're going to stay as loose can be, and let's hope inflation comes roaring. And we don't care. We don't care. And now they're talking about our retirement. See, they've already done the math. Your 401ks, these great Now listen, some of you have been very fortunate. Maybe you were able to stay at a job for a really long time. And you had a company or maybe a really strong union, right, that did nice company matches and all that stuff, and you never had to touch it. And you checked the right box, right? You checked the right box. And you're able to get a nice sum of money in your 401k. You're rare. Very rare. Matter of fact, the average 401k balance for people over the age of 60 is barely 100,000. If you take the median, which is probably a better way, because the average gets skewed by a small handful at the tippy top, the C-suite guys that got to dump hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars into a 401k to kind of skew the number. The median, less than 80,000. And that's for people, they're already older. And now they're talking about, man, what's happening here? We need the government to help us. They're saying that without financial education, encouragement, or access, okay? So those three things. Retirement savings isn't always a top priority. Gee, I wonder what could be. Right? What, we don't want to save? Of course, really, what are you really doing? Jay Powell just told everybody yesterday, don't save. Listen, you want to encourage savings? I got an easy solution for you. Bring the Fed's funds rate back to 5 or 6%. Have a CD, pay 8, 9, or 10%. You'll get savings. What a bunch of horse. It's just a bunch of horse manure. They just feed it down our throats. They say that Americans have other financial obligations to juggle, such as the rising cost of college. There's no inflation. Listen, I got 2 kids that are going to be in college. 2. It's stupid expensive. I honestly don't know how people afford it. I don't. And I'm lucky. My kid's got a bunch of money to do it. But it's ridiculous. Housing. Nothing's affordable anymore. Right? I'm sorry, I'd love to save, but I got kids in college. I'd love to save, but with your idiotic rate policy, housing's now unobtainium for anybody. Short-term goals, like buying a home, starting a business. There's no money. Listen, and everyone pays. Walmart pays like $14 an hour now. You're dead broke. You know, Brooke told me a great story today. She's all excited. Her older son's got a job. And she's got 2 boys, just like I do. The youngest one actually got a job first. And he was telling Big Brother how hard it's going to be for him to save $1,000. He was trying to educate his big brother. Hey, don't expect, wait till you get your paycheck. Right? Yeah, it's not going to be nearly as big as you think. And by the time you're done, going to In-N-Out Burger and hanging out with your buddies and whatnot, it's going to take you forever to save $1,000. And he's not wrong. And they're saying that they want the government to force automatic enrollment into retirement plans. Yeah. See, that'll fix it. See, because if we do that, it's kind of like, look at the 6.2%, your payroll tax. It's gone. Now, of course, they say, oh, yeah, it's for your retirement. Of course, then I told you that's not what the Supreme Court says. And now they're saying, well, let's just force this on everybody as well. Gee, I wonder how that's going to go over. Right? Could you imagine the government? And who knows what the numbers are going to be? Is it going to be 5%? Right? Now you get to take home 5% less. But they already know Social Security's done. With auto enrollment, companies can sign up their new employees into their retirement savings programs. Isn't that great? Beginning with deferring a small percentage of their salaries. I like how they said beginning with. Into their retirement, so at the end of their careers, their workers will have some sort of nest egg. Congress members have included this key provision into Secure Act 2.0. I love it when they put all these words in secure. It's the Secure Act. The latest proposal aimed at fixing retirement security for Americans. Yeah, see, it's broken. We got to fix it. I got an idea. And I said it already. Bring interest rates back to where they're supposed to be, and this problem goes away. Housing will become a lot more affordable, right? Now, of course, that would be bad for everybody that bought high, expensive houses, right? And all those things. People would actually want to save their money. But who would want to do this when the Federal Reserve says interest rates are 0? We don't want our money to be worth anything. Jay Powell yesterday said inflation's going to get to it. Core inflation will get to at least 2.5% in 2021. Now, if they're going to admit to 2.5%, and I just told you the 10-year note, it's like 175. Who would buy that? Hey, you're going to lend me money for 10 years. I'm going to give you a 1.5% of interest, but I'm going to tell you that our lying inflation measure is going to be 2.5%. And listen, I think it's going to be more than that. I say 3.5, maybe 4. And that's going to be the core number. Nobody in their right mind. That's the dumbest investment in the world. Why do you think everybody's buying gold? I think all these other countries are buying gold. Nobody's buying treasuries. We're just monetizing all of it. And guess what? With Biden and friends, we're going to get a lot more of it. Patriot Radio News Hour. We got a great special coming up. By the way, in the act, I found it. The minimum they're talking about is 3%. The maximum would be 10. So somewhere between 3 and 10. All of you out there that can afford to have 3 to 10% of your paycheck taken away from you, raise your hand. Because that's what they're talking about. This is how they're going to fix retirement. And again, here's the problem. This 401k, it's been terrible. I mean, not every plan's terrible, right? There's some that have done really well, but for the most part, first of all, no one works at a job 40 years or more. By the way, the one key advice, if you have a 401k from previous jobs or multiple 401ks from previous jobs, don't leave it there. I don't care. Listen, if you want to roll it into a precious metals IRA, that's great. We can help you do that. But I don't care if you do that or not. But don't leave it there. Because what happens is when you leave a job or you know, whether you left it or they left you or whatever the case was, you automatically start getting charged higher fees. A lot higher. So at least roll it over somewhere into some kind of an IRA or something like that. Like I said, you can do a precious metals one with us. We can help you do that. But don't just leave it there. You're just going to get whacked even more. And here's the funny part. You know, the 401k was created in the early 80s. It was supposed to be the supplement to Social Security and your pension. Right? Being the pension was the big piece. The supplements were Social Security. The supplements was 401k. The main bedrock for the majority of Americans was pension. But they destroyed that. Now, was the pension worth it? Just asking. Was it worth it? Dow 30,000 worth getting rid of all those pensions? You know, and for most of us now, a lot of us now, we grew up in an era where there's no such thing as a pension. And now we've got this huge problem where people don't have any money. You have 50, 60 million people on food stamps. Come on. And now there's like, we want to force you to save. And yet, you're not incentivizing anybody to save. I already told you how to fix it. But see, if you fixed it, well, that would hurt their precious little system, wouldn't it? Because let's face it, let's not kid ourselves. Who's really gotten the advantage of this big stock rally? Really? Small handful? Less than 10%? Everybody else is struggling to get by? And then they come out with Secure Act 2.0 nonsense? This is why everybody's buying gold. Listen, Jay Powell said it yesterday. Nobody, and they did their, I love their little dot plot thing. Have you seen this? You know, picture this graph. And on one side of the graph is Fed's funds rates. On the other side of the graph, it's the years. 2021, 2022, 2023, and then beyond. And each one of the Fed members, they put a little dot on where they want interest rates to be, where they think it's going, right? This is supposed to be forward thinking. Guess what they turned in yesterday? A dot plot that had interest rates at 0 this year, 0 next year, 0 the following year. Beyond, though, they had anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5%. That's it. What happened to 5, 6, 7, 8%? We're never, well, we're going back there again. Never's that, that's wrong. They don't ever want our money to be worth anything again. We are stuck in a devaluing cycle until the end of the dollar. And maybe that is the end. Is 2023 the end? I don't know. Till we go digital. Till we admit and default. Right? Our bond market, once again, and I keep educating you how poorly the bond market should be. The dollar should be screaming higher. It's 91 and change. Hasn't moved. There's big, big problems ahead. And again, it's inflation. What we don't know is it hyperinflation or stagflation? We've already had hyperinflation. So my guess is we get the worst one, which is stag, which means your incomes aren't growing, and yet everything's costing way more. The 70s we had hyper. Everything cost more, but wages were going up. I think we're going to have the everything's going to cost more and wages aren't going up problem this time around. Got another great special today. We did the $10 Liberties 2 days ago at $1,000. We did the $20 Liberties yesterday at $19.95. Today, the quarter ounce Liberties. We ran these, I don't know, a few weeks ago, I think. Gold was like $40 lower, maybe even $50 lower. $5.75 today at 800-951-0592. Gold's up $13.33. Silver's unchanged $26.30. Patriot Radio News Hour. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. The $5 Liberty fractional quarter ounce piece. Private. Buy them, sell them, trade them. It's always nice to have, because you never know. Could we descend into anarchy and chaos? It's possible. And having some quarter ounce gold may not be a bad idea, right? Maybe you need, a generator, right? Or a vehicle or something to that effect. Or pay property taxes as more and more states now talk about making gold money again. U.S. $5 Liberty gold piece is on sale today for $575. I want to bring up starting sometime, I don't want to say today, but in the next 24 to 48 hours on the Patriot shopping cart. We are going to, I had bought more products out of estates, and I've been talking about all these estate sales that we've had, and I've got a bunch of I'll call oddball items that really nice stuff that's, box certs, pretty cases, all these things, a lot of it silver and whatnot, but, I've only got one. I got one of this and one of that. We're going to have pictures up. I'm going to have them priced, to perfection. And these things are super, super cool. We're going to start with the America the Beautiful coins. These are the 5-ounce silver coins. The Mint made these limited in 2013 and 2014. I've got 8 different ones like Mount Rushmore, Fort McHenry, the Peace Memorial, and the White Mountains, and all these places. And they're going to be like $250, which is dirt cheap out there for these stuffs. And like I said, these things are going to be just cool novelty things. And again, it's all about price. It's all about price. And maybe you're looking for a gift for somebody, or you want to just a great conversational piece, or you just want something unusual. We're going to be putting these up on our website for the next. And I mean, we've got probably, I don't know, maybe 60 to 100 different things. So we'll put 4 or 5 of them up there at a time. And I'll talk about them, too, on the air, but that's the Patriot Trading Group shopping cart section. Look for these new novelty items to be added here in the next few days and really enjoy that. There's some really cool stuff in there. I actually bought one already, so too bad for you guys, but they'll be up there. But in the meantime, U.S. $5 Liberties at $5.75. Really a good day. Gold did something today pretty impressive. We had another big spike in interest rates, but gold didn't get hammered. Like I said, I think we're at this point now, rising rates and rising gold prices at the same time. I told a couple of customers yesterday, listen, gold's done going down. Get ready. It's coming. 800-951-0592. U.S. $5 Liberties at $575. We do have some peace dollars still at $2.50. I'll honor that until we're out of those. I think we got like 50 or 60 rolls of $half. U.S. $half at $250 on the silver side. So there you go. 800-951-0592.